Thank you for watching this video by the California Student Aid Commission. This training provides an overview of the new Community College Entitlement Cal Grant, as well as the role of community colleges to confirm enrollment. Effective in the 2021-22 academic year, Assembly Bill or AB 132 established the California Community College Entitlement Cal Grant, also called the E3 cycle. This new program establishes Cal Grant A and B entitlement eligibility for students attending a community college who were not awarded at the time of high school graduation. Students who are not awarded in the high school entitlement or transfer entitlement cycles and who have a California community college listed in any position on their FAFSA or California DREAM Act application will receive Cal Grant consideration during the new E3 cycle. The reason this legislation is so significant is that it removes certain barriers to receiving a Cal Grant, such as age limits and time since high school graduation. It has been long documented that those requirements pose obstacles and have prevented hundreds of thousands of underserved students from receiving financial aid. And this expanded eligibility helps to address enrollment declines at the community colleges, which most dramatically represent students outside of the traditional college-going age, including working adults. This expansion in state financial aid will be critical in promoting access to career training education, such as vocational technical programs and higher education in general. This expansion is a major step towards making college truly affordable and helps to offset the negative economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has exacerbated college affordability struggles. CSAC will offer preliminary E3 awards to students who are not already awarded a Cal Grant and who apply by the September 2nd deadline if they list a California Community College on the FAFSA or California DREAM Act application and have a matched GPA on file with the Commission from their high school or community college. And of course, students have to meet all other Cal Grant requirements. Now, award confirmation is the role of the community colleges, so preliminary E3 awards are placed on hold by the Commission until the community college submits an enrollment file to confirm attendance. These enrollment files will be used to award E3 students throughout the school year. As has always been the case, Cal Grant A is not payable at a community college. Rather, it will be held in Community College Reserve for up to 2 years until transfer to a 4-year university. However, there are 2 exceptions when Cal Grant A will not be placed on Community College Reserve: the Cal Grant for students with dependents and the Foster Youth Access Award. Both of these specialized programs allow the Cal Grant A Access Award to be paid at the community college. And once students transfer to university, they will be eligible to receive both the Access Award and the tuition and fees portion of the award. The Cal Grant B Access Award is immediately payable at community colleges and will not be placed on Community College Reserve. Prior to this recent Cal Grant expansion under AB 132, there were only 2 cohorts of students who were eligible for entitlement awards: high school entitlement or E1 applicants and transfer entitlement or E2 applicants. Now we have this third entitlement cycle, the Community College Entitlement or E3 cycle. This is significant because every student who meets the criteria is entitled to these funds, meaning entitlement awards are unlimited in number, and the Commission will issue as many awards as there are eligible students. In contrast, applicants who do not meet entitlement award criteria will be processed for a competitive award. And before AB 132, E3 students would have also been considered competitive applicants. But this expansion now entitles eligible community college students to receive a new Cal Grant A or B while still in community college, thereby replacing many former competitive awards with brand new E3 entitlement awards. As a result, the number of competitive awards offered each year was reduced from 41,000 to 13,000. A bit about the WebGrants awarding system. When applications are received in the WebGrants system, WebGrants will first attempt to process them for the high school entitlement or E1 cycle, which just includes high school seniors and prior year grads. If applications do not meet E1 high school entitlement criteria, WebGrants will then scan those applications for potential eligibility for the E2 transfer entitlement award cycle, which awards community college students once they transfer to a four-year university. If applications do not meet E1 or E2 criteria, our system will now run the E3 cycle filters to identify potential E3 awardees. Finally, applications that do not meet E1, E2, or E3 criteria will be processed for a competitive Cal Grant. The competitive award cycle scores FAFSA's and California DREAM Act applications based on disadvantage factors. This scoring methodology uses GPA, time out of high school, family income, parents' education levels, high school performance standards, and other factors to award the neediest students. Please note, while there are two Cal Grant deadlines, March 2nd and September 2nd, March 2nd is a priority deadline for all award cycles, so students should be encouraged to submit the FAFSA or CADA by the March 2nd deadline. It may help to see what happens during the E3 awarding process behind the scenes. WebGrants uses the data submitted on student financial aid applications to filter results and determine eligibility. First, the WebGrants system runs filters to determine whether students fall under the entitlement or competitive pools. Next, WebGrants will filter out any E1 or E2 applicants and will run the E3 eligibility criteria. For example, it will confirm that the FAFSA or DREAM Act application was received by the September 2nd deadline and lists a community college, and that the GPA was also submitted by the deadline and matched to a financial aid application. If students pass these initial filters, applications are then scanned for general Cal Grant eligibility, such as California residency, and that the student is not incarcerated and does not already hold a bachelor's degree. Next, the system will confirm that students are financially eligible. So it's going to verify that the income and asset ceilings are within the Cal Grant threshold and that there is sufficient financial need. Finally, if applications pass this E3 criteria, those E3 students are placed on hold with a preliminary award until the community college submits the enrollment file to confirm attendance. Students who list a community college and pass E3 filters, but whose enrollment verification from the community college is still pending, will be preliminarily awarded and sent a preliminary award notification. Not all preliminary awards will result in a final award offer. That's because not all preliminarily awarded students are going to attend community college. However, the Commission wants to give every student who is considering attending a community college the opportunity to receive a Cal Grant. And knowing that the bulk of college expenses will be covered with a Cal Grant may incentivize preliminarily awarded students to actually enroll. Once an enrollment record is received, the preliminary award is confirmed and the student is sent a final award offer known as the California Aid Report, or CAR. The E3 cycle was developed in phases. Both phases are now complete. Phase 1 enabled school changes between community colleges. This means that when a community college initiates a school change from another community college, or when they claim a student to their roster from another community college, an enrollment record is automatically created and the E3 hold is released. So the new community college does not need to submit an enrollment record. Their student's award will not be on hold and the roster will be immediately ready for payment. However, if a student initiates a school change from one community college to another via their WebGrants for Students portal, the E3 hold remains in place until the School of Attendance verifies enrollment. Phase 1 also enabled WebGrants payment rosters to be customized to identify E3 awardees by creating the E3 cycle indicator and the E3 verified field. Finally, the grant roster was also updated with the E3 cycle ID and the asterisk hold indicator. Phase 2 enabled full school change functionality. Students can now do changes from a community college to other school segments, such as CSUs, UCs, or private schools via their student portals. And the E3 cycle ID was also added to the student award summary screen. Let's take a look at these E3 flags and indicators on the next couple of slides. This is the Student Award Summary screen in WebGrants. Looking under the Award Status column, we see that the Cal Grant B was auto-accepted. This is still a preliminary award and it's on hold as shown by the asterisk. The hold will be released once an enrollment file is submitted and the preliminary award will become a final award. This screenshot from the Customize Roster menu in WebGrants shows the new E3 Cycle ID and the E3 Verified fields, so you can now filter your rosters to select E3 students. If you would like instruction on customizing rosters, the Commission offers a training webinar called Reports, Tools, and Customizing a Roster. You can view upcoming webinars and register at the link shown at the bottom of the slide. There are 3 ways to verify enrollment and release the hold in WebGrants. The Upload Enrollment screen allows multiple records to be submitted in one batch. The Add Enrollment screen allows the submission of individual enrollment records. Financial aid administrators can also verify enrollment for specific students directly from the display roster, which releases the hold in real time. Enrollment files will be used to award E3 students throughout the school year, and enrollment files for both E2 and E3 cycles can be submitted in the same batch. For additional help, the Enrollment Data Submission Guide is available under the WebGrants Help link. As we saw on the previous screen, community college enrollment files can be submitted in 3 different ways. The first 2 methods utilize the Enrollment link in WebGrants. Use the Upload Enrollment screen to submit multiple records in a batch all at once, or use the Add Enrollment screen to add enrollment files to individual student records. Please do not use Secure File Transfer to upload enrollment files. The third method to submit an enrollment record is directly on the roster by choosing Student is Enrolled in the E3 Enrollment Verification Required drop-down. When verifying enrollment directly on the roster, the enrollment record is automatically created and the hold is released real-time and payments can be reported. If the student is not enrolled, simply leave the E3 Verification Enrollment drop-down field blank. And just like normal, report the pay code NA. The record will be processed over the weekend and the student will be moved to the Not in Attendance section of the roster. The record will remain on E3 hold and the student can regain E3 eligibility if they enroll at least half time. In that case, report the YA code to move the student back to the eligible section of the roster. After weekend processing, you can then submit an enrollment file to release the hold. When E3 enrollment verification is confirmed directly on the display roster, an enrollment record is immediately created and can be viewed on the Delete/View Enrollment Records screen. For records with both the E3 hold and the Students with Dependents hold, verify enrollment first. After the E3 hold is cleared, the SWD confirmation dropdown will appear and eligibility for the Students with Dependents program can be verified. For students who will be attending a community college in a future term, verify enrollment once the student is enrolled. After the hold is released, the student or financial aid office can retroactively report a leave of absence for any prior terms. Students can renew their E3 awards when they transfer from the community college to a CSU or UC, provided they received at least one Cal Grant payment at the community college and meet all other financial and academic criteria. E3 awards will be withdrawn if a school change to a CSU or UC is done prior to the student receiving at least one payment at the community college. There is one exception, however. Students with a Cal Grant A in Community College Reserve can renew their E3 award at the CSU or UC, even if no payment was disbursed by the community college before transferring, as long as their community college did verify enrollment. And since the Community College Entitlement Award is only available at California public colleges, E3 awards will also be withdrawn if a student reports a school change to a private university. However, these students will receive consideration for a transfer entitlement award or a competitive award if they applied by the March 2nd deadline. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found this overview helpful. Feel free to contact the Commission if we can be of further assistance.